Hey, this is BA. Welcome to GANNS Master Time Factor Planetary. And we're going to get into what's this business of GANNS time factors all about, because there's a lot of hype that surrounds it. So I'm going to kind of slow this one down and give it to you straight. Courses of instruction. This was pulled from one of Gann's many advertisements, but it does give you some insight into what the man was doing. Some readers of Mr. Gann's books want to take up his advanced courses after they have learned all they can from his books. 1936 Master Forecasting Method. This course includes his Master Time Factor and Cycle Theory. Note here he says Master Time Factor and Cycle Theory. That's very important. That's a key right there. Enabling one to make up annual forecasts 1 year or more in advance on the general market or in individual stocks. It contains all his new discoveries made from 1933 to 36. For the first time, this method is in shape so that it can be taught by correspondence. Okay? Again, one of the most important elements there is Master Time Factor and Cycle Theory. He's not just selling the Master Time Factor, okay, because it's a number. And if you don't know what to do with the number, it's not going to help you. We'll get into that. When this presenter entered the Gann field some 20 plus years ago, everyone, which was 1996, was looking for Gann's Master Time Factor, MTF for short. Things have changed, but people are still looking for it. In this presentation, we will find where it's at. Here is our first problem. Let's say the Master Time Factor is a number such as 186. It's not, but let's say it is. Hooray! We have found it. Now, what do we do with it? It is in the application of the Master Time Factor that we really want to get at. Even if we find a number, it would be like finding a golden key on a deserted street. Great. But where does the key go? And what does it unlock, you see? The Master Time Factor is used to tie elements together. You need it to get Gann's number system working. However, you do not in any way need it to get Gann's planetary system working. For Gann's planetary system, you do need time factors for some, not all, of Gann's cycles. So basically, and I've gone into this in a different video. Basically, Gann has two systems, you see. One with planets and the other one with numbers. Okay? And the just number system is called Gann's law of vibration. In the planetary system, I think is, having been in this field 20 years, I think it's best for people to learn this first. It's a longer road if you just go and study his number system. Of all the people I've met that have come up through this and really succeeded, I've never seen someone just get his number system and that's it, okay, without having the planetary system first. So there's kind of like a pathway there, okay? And for Gann's planetary system, you do need time factors for some of his, not all of Gann's cycles. So some of his cycles work without time factors, okay? But you, in no way, for his planetary system, do you need his Master Time Factor, because it's not for that system. It does not work with that system. Very important distinctions there. I began studying Gann 20 years ago and am familiar with most books on the market. I have never seen anyone accurately describe the Master Time Factor in any measure. The real Master Time Factor is far too valuable. There is, however, one exception. If you have watched some of my other videos, you already know which book it is actually in. Ta-da! That's right, The Tunnel Through the Air. Robert Gordon's great campaign in Major Motors. On Sunday, June 19, 1927, Robert Gordon spent the day studying his charts and worked out his cycles for stocks, cotton, and grain. He was short of Major Motors and was watching it very closely. On this day, he made a new and great discovery of a time factor, from which he figured that Major Motors would decline until about June 30th and then start an advance, which would last until about September 16th, 1927, when the company would be 19 years old. And at that time, the stock would reach final high and would then go down to February to April 1929. He figured that the stock should advance to around 270 by September 16th and made up his mind to watch it closely and cover his shorts if it went down around June 30th, and then start buying the stock. On June 30th, it declined, and he bought his short contracts and brought in his short contracts and bought for some long account 500 shares of Major Motors at 192.5. You can read the rest yourself. The key is it's here. Now let's stop right here and take a look at this, okay? Because it's only really in the context of this book that we're going to understand where it's used at or how it's used. And Gann explains these things, and I've not ever seen any of this in a book by another author. Not ever. Not ever. Okay, and I've pretty much, I wouldn't say I've read them all, but I've read a good chunk, and I know the who's who, and it ain't there, man. Okay, so very important here. This is where it's at. Now, is there any shortcuts here? Sorry, guys, there's really not. There really is not. You're going to have to understand this book. Okay, you're going to have to understand W.D. Gann's The Tunnel Through the Air. That's the truth on it. That's 20 years of experience talking with you, okay? I put forecasts out on my site every single month, okay? I put absolutely free to everyone that visits my site, okay? So those forecasts, how are those made? Well, through this book, The Tunnel Through the Air, you see, okay? Very important concept here. If you have gained insight from my video, subscribe so you can get the latest on my free market calls, forecasts, commentary, and teachings. Knowledge is priceless. Hey, this is BA saying you can succeed. Bye-bye.